I don't know about you, but that's the sort of dramatic entrance that I like. But the question is the Jetour Dashing all looks but no substance? Find out in this video. Now, let's start with the most obvious part of this car, which is the looks. Now, a lot of people say that it looks like a Lamborghini Urus in front, maybe some Lexus at the back, but let's face it, if you sort of like this kind of design, subtlety isn't exactly the sort of part of your vocabulary, right? So, but for me, overall, it looks the part. I think it's a legit looking, stunning car. When you see it moving, I think it looks awesome. And I think Jetour has kind of put in a best hits tape where the best parts of European, maybe Japanese design combined. It looks good. It's a looker. It's a very good dashing car. I promise, that's the last time I'm going to say that. Now let's take a look at the back. This is the part where it's a little bit Japanese, I suppose. You have this very funky, this is your camera, this is your brake light. You have this spoiler here. And one cool detail that I like is this kind of like a racing flag detail under the LED taillights. And of course, for the Jetour Dashing, you have an automatic tailgate, of course. This is, after all, a Euro car. Now, moving on to the side of the Jetour Dashing, you have this very nice 19-inch wheels. You have dual disc brakes for front and back. Overall, it's a car that you're going to be very happy and be looking back while you're walking away from it. It's something that's going to be, I think it's going to age pretty well. It looks awesome, really, from any sort of angle. And, if you're going to be into this sort of car, you might as well embrace it because this is a looker.
As always, I want to thank the guys here at GAZEBO ROYALE Special Events Venue for letting us shoot here. And of course, the guys at Jetour FAIRVIEW for lending us this Jetour Dashing for the day. You can find their contact details in the description below.
So when it comes to practicality, especially for the passengers at the back here, you have your center armrest, you have this red accents that you have here, the leather that you have here isn't too bad. And then going into the passenger side here, it's pretty easy. You have a ton of legroom. I'm 5'6". You have a huge sunroof here. Then I love the design of the rear design of the seats here for of course, for the front passenger and driver. And you got a decent amount of cup holders on the center armrest and of course on the side here. The stereo, the 6-speaker stereo isn't too, it's okay. It's good. It's not too bad. Although they do have a new model that has a bespoke audio system. So if you're interested with that, make sure that you check that out as well. Overall, here at the back, it's actually pretty comfy. If you were gonna look into the Jetour Dashing maybe 5 or 10 years back, you would actually even consider that this is a mid-size SUV because it's pretty big at the back.
Other cool features that we like are the red stitching all throughout the car, a 6-way power adjustable seat for the driver, hidden door handles, you got this funky key fob, a flat bottom steering wheel. Although there's only one USB port for the back, there's plenty at the front with even a USB-C quick charger. The AC is very good. You have this very cool interior lighting, which on the dashboard even follows the music that you're playing. And finally, you got the Jetour logo outside when you open the door at night. Very cool. Very, very cool.
Now let's go on to the main event here. So going inside on the driver's side of the Jetour Dashing here, um, if for example the influences that I had was a bit of Euro in front and then a bit of Japanese at the back, in the interior it's very obvious that they made a more Tesla-esque design where it's very, very sleek, very minimalistic. You have this wireless chargers. Very nice that they also have a 60 watt USB-C charger here. You have a USB-A. You have a 12-volt socket. You have your air vents here. You have your start stop button here. Then another sort of influences from Tesla is you have your multimedia controls here. The steering wheel feels okay. Then this 12.8 screen is very bright, very easy to use, maybe a little bit limited since this doesn't have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. And then right in front of you, you have this small rectangular instrument panel where it's very clear. It shows you all what gear you're in, your speed, and all the important stuff. Although I do have one complaint here, which is the quality of, especially this part of the center console. It looks pretty cheap compared to the other part of the dashboard. I I wish that the Jetour Dashing or Jetour would probably add some leather in this part because that makes it feel really cheap. You have two cup holders here as well. The gear shift is nothing special. It Nothing special. Doesn't look as dynamic, but it works, and it's nice to feel in the hands here. And then if you're gonna set up your driving position, you can adjust it up and down, forward and back. So that's all well and good. And overall, yeah, in front, it's I think it's a bit of mix. Looking out, it's very, very nice. I love the bulbous design that you can see in front here. It's very easy to drive, and oh yeah, and okay, before we go to driving this thing here, let me give you a more detailed tour of the infotainment system here. So let me give you a quick demonstration of this 12.8 screen that the Jetour Dashing has. This has, I think this is petal maps, which is pretty good actually. I think you may need to just add in data. I'm not sure if there's a SD card or SIM card here that you have to use, but it seems pretty clear here. Then, for example, when you tap into this part of the infotainment screen, that's where you see your driving modes. You only have two. You have sport mode and you have eco mode. Let's try to circle this thing. Okay, that doesn't work. So this is where you also control most of the functions that you have for the car. For example, you have your auto hold here. You have your stability control, your I think this is for when you try to go down, that's for your controls there. You can open the trunk there. This is probably for locking the door. Yep, there. As you can see, you could open a particular door, or for example, adjust the window here. Like for example, I can press this one. I could close it or open it. Open the Okay, let's try to open that. Yeah, you could do that. That's interesting. I don't know if I'm gonna need that anyway. So just go back and close that. Then you have your setting for your exterior lamp, which is basically the light that you have right in front of you. If you want to adjust it up or down, okay. Then you have your ambient light, which is of course the detail here. This is another parlor trick that this car has. You could have, for example, It you can even adjust your the music that you're listening. That's interesting. There's a bunch of colors here that you have. So you can have any sort of, there's a ton of colors you can choose from. Let's try this button here, scene mode. Oh, okay. This is the brightness change. That, for example, I suppose when it changes from normal to dim, which depending on the speed of the car here, then driving assist. Well, this doesn't have a lot of driving assist, which is probably one of the uh, one of the low points or kind of disappointing parts of the Jetour Dashing, or what how Jetour has imported here, because on the China market this has a ton of ADAS features, but the only thing that we get here is things like cruise control. You have your blind side monitoring here. Then you have your standard door opening. If you can see here, there's a lot of space here, which is probably um, other features that is not available for the Philippine market. Let's go to the car settings option here. Um, Again, the settings for your car doors, for example, um, the handle folding time. Probably when you go off the car, that will be the time where the um. Oh, no, that's those fancy door locks that they have. Okay, and then stuff like the auto lock. You have all of this. You have a lot of features like, for example, four doors unlock, outside vehicle lock, courtesy mode. So yeah, you got a decent amount of options there. And then you have your car condition, which is kind of like things like if it's time to be for the car to be serviced. You see your tire pressures here. You have your driving your odometer. And then, if you can see here, it also says that you have 3,158 mileage for the next maintenance. Typical thing that you see on a lot of modern cars now. Then let's try this button here, which is the camera. That's probably the 360-degree camera. It's very, very sharp. You have a top view as well, the 360-degree view. So let's check out the cameras here. Pretty good. Let's try, there's a 3D part here. Ah, there you go. So you can, yeah, that's very useful. So you can see the cameras are very good, doing a very good job of tracking that. And then, okay, let's go back there. Let me check that again. Okay. And then if you want to view the cameras in front, at the back, this is towards the back already. And then let's try this setup here. Ah, okay. This is where you, well, pretty much just turn on, for example, your signal lamp. If you if you want to see it on the graphic, I'm not sure why you would need that, but I guess if that's what you want, that's interesting. Okay, let's go back there. There's a lot of really cool, interesting options here. Um, you have auto zoom in. Yeah, let's go back there. You have your radar obstacle detection, steering wheel angle activation. Well, really depends on the sort of person that's really into that. I personally am not. Let's try this button here. Ah, okay. Uh, I'm not sure what this is. This is probably a recording or maybe an image. Not quite sure. Anyway, let's move on to the other pan. Let's move on to the other parts of the infotainment here. I think this is for local media. Yeah. So, for example, this is where you switch into radio. Pretty standard stuff here. Go back to the loaded media. You can have your Bluetooth connected, and then at the very least, you still can connect your USB, connect your phone through USB. Then moving on, we have your AC controls. This has you can have heated seats. You can have ventilated seats as well. Then You have, well, the usual stuff like the fan speed, turning on and off your AC, and then the nice thing is you can have control over the front passenger and the driver as well. Let's go back to the settings part here, which is your connectivity options. You have your Wi-Fi, your Bluetooth, your audio. Let's check out the audio part here. I want to check this out. Now, the stereo here, it's bad. It's not bad, you know. You have. Let's check out the sound mode here. Okay, you have your different EQ values there. It's not bad. Mm, yeah, yeah, pretty standard stuff. Check out the display part here. Okay. You have your brightness. You even have a screensaver. Okay, that's interesting. And time format. Let's say what universal. What you get here. Okay. Your universal settings like your language. And looks like you can actually probably update this.
Under the hood, the Jetour Dashing has a 1.5-liter turbocharged engine that produces 156 PS and 230 Newton meters of torque, mated with a 6-speed dual clutch transmission. Fuel consumption figures are around 9 kilometers per liter in the city and around 15 kilometers per liter on the highway.
All right, guys, we're here at the driving section of this review. So, starting off, if for example you're just weaving through, for example, looking for a parking space, the Jetour Dashing has a very light steering feel. I'm gonna continue with, for example, the suspension. It's pretty good actually. It's very supple. The rides isn't too bad. I like the size of this vehicle. It's pretty big actually. It's kind of almost as big as for example, a Ford Territory. So it's kind of like mid-size SUV. If you were gonna compare this like 5-10 years ago, so it's very spacious and practicality wise, the design of the car is very practical. There's a lot of stuff you can put in here, and it actually handles really well when you push this thing. When you, for example, you put it in a bend and in speed, it's pretty good. It's really good. And then the engine, while it's not the fastest, um, once the turbo pulls in, or once you go into that part of the engine where there's plenty of torque, it's pretty brisk. One thing though, one thing that kind of defeats and really lets it down is the steering feel, or the lack of steering feel. Like, this is the lightest thing that I've ever driven for any car. So for driving enthusiasts that like me, this is quite the issue, to be honest. This is quite the issue. So this is definitely not for a driver's car. Um, the weird thing is, even though there is no feel, but if you corner it, if you put it in the right place and then you floor it, it handles really well. Which is why it's such a big letdown that the steering feel is just so soft. But then again, as I've talked to my other co-car reviewers, is not all people will actually be interested in, a spirited and heavy steering. Maybe they prefer something lighter, and that makes sense. So I think overall, aside from its looks, it's not too bad. 1,329,000. I think it's a good deal. It's not bad. It's too bad that at this price, you don't get a lot of ADAS. And I feel like Jetour Philippines have sort of offered the kind of like the entry version for this car. And I think people would be happy to pay a little bit more if they had more toys, like I said, the ADAS, better steering feel, maybe. Although there is a new model that has a bespoke audio system, So I guess that's a cool option, and probably maybe a faster, I mean, a stronger engine. I think people will be happy to pay for that because I feel like Jetour Philippines didn't really sort of max out what options they have here. But I would expect that maybe for 2024, that's the thing that we'll be introducing. So I wouldn't be surprised if, for example, there will be a new variant that we'll be offering, which have more toys, more powerful engine, and yeah, I think it's a very it's the sort of car that if you like this sort of design, you're definitely gonna be soaking up the all the attention that you're gonna get with this sort of car. I've been driving this for about half a day now, and definitely I've been getting a lot of looks, mostly men, which is which is which is kind of disappointing. But you just know that this sort of design really appeals to those who kind of appreciate that sort of thing, the car design. But yeah, I think it's okay. I think it's a decent choice. Okay, let's talk about the other things, like for example, the warranty. So Jetour Philippines is offering this with a 1,000,000 kilometer warranty or a 6 year warranty and I think 10 years for the engine. So that's how confident Jetour is. And, the thing with Jetour is, although they're pretty young, there are, of course, under Cherry, which is, one of the biggest Chinese car brands out there. And only, although they've been around for only a couple of years, they're actually very close to like selling 1 million cars already, and that's pretty impressive for such a young company. The kind of like the Jetour Dashing is if you want to travel in style and comfort, this is the sort of car for you. So yeah, I think so there. So there you have it. So that's my review of the Jetour Dashing. Thank you so much again to Jetour Fairview for lending us this car for a day, for a full day, and then thanks again to Gazebo Royale Special Events Venue for letting us shoot there as well. I'll be leaving their contact details on the description below. My name is Paul. I hope you like this review. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. And see you in the next video. Bye for now.